everybody, welcome back to another Ark tier list. Today is the Ark DLC, or I guess custom Ark creature tier list. I'm pretty sure I got all the creatures here, I think. Some of them are craftables, I know, but I feel they still should be counted and whatnot, since you can go out and craft them and stuff and whatnot. But yeah, I think everything is here. Some of the pictures are a little iffy-ish, but there's actually a tier list I created. I'm 99% sure I have included every single DLC. I'm only saying I'm 99% accurate because I feel like there should be maybe more. But I do know one thing that if you're looking at all the creatures you may notice, I have one wyvern. Definitely we had all the wyverns included. It'll be a lot smaller or be a lot larger just because how many wyverns they've added in Ark in general. But I decided to squish it down to if there's variants of a specific creature. Just stick it to all in one because it doesn't make sense. Because for me, while there are definitely the wyvern breaths definitely make a wyvern good or bad, because some of the breath attacks are way better than others, they're also, everything else is the same. They're just mostly design wise and everything else pretty much the same from it. It's just breath is the only thing that's different. So I figured that I'm just gonna mash some of the creatures. I almost mashed these two together, the mech and the mega mech, since they're the same thing, but I figured just have these two separate, I suppose. I don't know. I honestly might just do one now I'm thinking about it. But anyways, yeah, so this is the Ark DLC or / custom Ark tier list. So I'm going to go through all the creatures that we have here for today, and I'm going to be putting them on the tier list. Now, I guess I should quickly say, since I don't know if I said at the start of the last video, is that while a creature that could be very good may not be S tier, I'm not 100% basing these guys on how good they are. Because if the creature is good and OP and whatnot, but it's not fun to use, then it's going to lose a couple rankings for that, pretty much. But yeah, without further ado, let's get straight on to the tier list. Alright, so first we have is the Amargasaurus. I feel very iffy with the Amargasaurus. I think I'll put this creature in B tier. Now, for concept-wise, I think I like the Amargasaurus for it, while being the smallest, I believe, sauropod we have in the game. I like its mechanic of being able to shoot spikes and stuff out of its back and create AoE stuff. The only problem though with it is that as a person that mostly does PvE, this creature isn't really that useful to use, because it's, even with you shoot the spikes, it takes so long, and I don't know, sometimes also just for the effect to stack up takes way too long. Kind of wish that maybe there's more of a direct attack you can do with the Amargasaurus, maybe less the duration, but you can easily hit them a lot more. I feel like that would be a little bit nice. I don't know, I would say how well the Amargasaurus is in PvP. I've heard people definitely use it a lot more in PvP, but I don't know if it's an essential creature for PvP. I don't know. I like the creature in concept, but execution I'm kind of just about it. The Andrewsarchus, this is gonna be a good old S tier. I mean, I don't think there's really anything about the Andrewsarchus that isn't fun or that isn't bad at all. Saving method's not really that bad. I know a lot of people like to complain about it, but it could be a lot worse. There's way more annoying tames, I gotta say, this one right here, than the Andrewsarchus. But I mean, overall, it's a cool creature. I mean, it's pretty much a war piggy, I guess you could say. At least that's what I've heard a lot of people say. It's a pretty good creature overall for both PvE and PvP. I know that you can't get picked off of your mount while riding this creature, and I mean, come on, it's equipped with a turret saddle that you can go in and just fire out. It's so fun. It also has the speed that it gets, that more you run with it. It's just a fun creature to use, and once Fjordur comes out, I am definitely gonna work on mutations for these guys. I think this is the Astrocetus, I believe. Yeah, or the space whale. I'm gonna put this also in B tier with the Amargasaurus, because I feel the general same about it. I really like the creature in concept and whatnot, and I think it's really cool that it's a big battleship where if you and your tribe mates tame one, you can just go on it and be a space commander or whatever and have people shoot from far. it sounds really, really, really cool. But I don't know. I feel like I really like the Zion, the aspect of it. It's just not that fun to use. I mean, I don't have too many people also to play Ark with, if I'll be quite honest. But at the same time, I feel like the time where I have some people over and we like try to use this, it's not as fun as it would be. Maybe that this creature's a lot more fun in PvP than more of PvE with it flying over, maybe you shoot down like a base or whatever. But also, I don't see a lot of people use it from what I have gathered. So maybe it's not even that good with PvP. But I mean, overall, it's a space whale. It's pretty good. I really like it. I think this one right here is the Astrodelphis or Space Dolphin. I don't remember. This is a little tough because here's the issue when it comes to Genesis Part 2 creatures. Genesis Part 2 is a map I barely interacted with at all. I thought it was just kind of to play on, if I'll be honest. So most of the Genesis Part 2 creatures, I'm gonna have very little experience with them, so in a way I don't have a best opinion about it. But I'm gonna put this probably also in B. I mean, I know it's like probably the best fighter jet or whatever you can have in Ark with all its homing, I think, rockets or sticky grenades or just stuff in general. But I mean, I don't know, it doesn't look that really fun to use at times, at least for me. I feel like it's just better off in its own map. That yeah, it makes sense for something to exist like that. But I don't know, there's nothing about it that's super me like it. Actually, I might buff this down to C tier now I'm thinking about it. It looks strong, don't get me wrong, but I don't know, it just also looks kind of boring at the same time. The Basilisk. I think this is a good, solid. Yeah, I'm gonna put this in A tier. I really like the Basilisk mainly for the fact that it's kind of the only big useful giant snake you can really tame in Ark. I mean, you have the Titanoboa, but who's really taming Titanoboas? Let's be honest here. And I really do like the fantasy aspect of the Basilisk a lot in its poisonous clouds and stuff like that. I really do like it a lot. One thing I feel like I would really love, and if you saw my aberration wish list video, then you'll probably know where I'm going with. Make this creature breedable. I don't understand why it's not. I don't think it's gonna be game breaking if it becomes breedable at all, if I'll be honest. I just want to be able to customize cool looking snakes and have a stronger snake. I mean, I don't think that's something to argue with that'll be maybe a hot take or whatever. I think just having a cooler and stronger snake would be epic. Bloodstalker. Ooh, this is also either A or S tier for me. I think I'm gonna put it actually in S tier. Bloodstalkers, I love the Bloodstalkers. They're so cool looking. They're like a weird alien spider creature. I really kind of dig with that. I mean, I would definitely personally prefer a more proper looking spider in the future in Ark, because the only one that's useful is Bloodstalker, but it's also not a proper looking spider because it's all alien-y. But anyways, Bloodstalker, really cool creature. Taming method's also somewhat unique with its whole sucking up blood or whatever, or, stuff like that. And I really do like swinging around with these guys. These guys are really fun to just use in general to get around places. They're I would say that when it comes to just more, I guess, I don't know if I would say gravel mound that's more land-based, because you're swinging around with these guys, but I wouldn't call them a flyer or a glider. They're just a very good just traveling mount, I guess. I'm not sure what I'm 100% going with here, but really fun to use. Also really fun to just pull in creatures and whatnot with the web. I've also done some fun little trolling with one of my friends with the Bloodstalker. Good times. Really love the creature. Bulb Dog, we'll do B for Bulb Dog. I mean, it's mainly useful for its, light and whatnot, and how an aberration light is very useful to have going down to the deeper parts of aberration, and it's a good counter against Reapers. So you usually want a light pet, and I think the Bulb Dog is the cute and ugly kind of creature, that it's wow, this thing's so ugly. You're oh, but it's also so cute. I really like its design. I think it's silly, and I would say it's like a good like mascot creature for Aberration. Deinonychus, I think we put this in A tier. I really do like the Deinonychus. It's kind of like a raptor, but very, very upgraded. I like its like latch-on mechanic that it has. I think that's really, really cool. Kind of wish there were like more creatures that are like that in Ark, if I'll be honest. Makes more sense for like some smaller creatures like a Thyla or something would be cool if it could just latch onto bigger creatures. And it's just like overall really good also trap amounts because it could climb up, and I believe it doesn't take fall damage or it takes less fall damage. I'm not 100% sure if I'll be honest, but overall really like the creature, really do like it. You probably can't be able to tell this icon here because I didn't really do any resizing at all. But this is the Desert Titan. Put this in C tier. I mean, the Desert Titan, like all the Titans you can tame on Extinction, I really do like. I think they're all like really cool OP creatures and whatnot. It's just the Desert Titan's design I'm just not the biggest fan of, I would say. You know, while the other Titans I could see make sense for what biomes they are in, the Desert Titan I feel like is very confusing to me. Because the Forest Titan, yeah, that makes sense to be in the Sunken Forest. And the Ice Titan, yeah, that creature would make sense to look in the ice biome. But the Desert Titan doesn't give me deserty vibes. I don't know, it looks like a creature you would find most likely in like Crystal Isles or like a more like floating island kind of map. I mean, I also could see this guy in like in like the city or whatnot. I feel like that would also make sense since there are a decent amount of flyers over there. I think just over design is fine, but I just don't think it fits with its like biome aesthetic. So yeah, Desmoses, this is probably gonna be another S tier. We're gonna probably have quite a few S tiers if I'm gonna be honest. I like quite a few of the DLC creatures. I mean, I don't think you go wrong at all with the Desmoses. This guy is really strong. I do like its, you know, gets extra abilities and whatnot at night. I really do like that aspect of the Desmosis. I also really like that it's like an actual useful bat. We really don't have a good bat in Ark. I mean, we do have a bat in Ark, but no one's taming that one. I don't even remember his name at the top of my head because it's kind of not good to use. But having like a cool like vampire bat and stuff like that, really dig with it. I really like the Desmoses. It's also really good when it comes to if you want to get like wyvern eggs. These guys surprisingly can take down a wyvern with ease. Probably not multiple at the same time, I would say. But, like, if you're just fighting 1v1ing a wyvern, you can actually easily take them out, if I'll be honest. Because they got the whole, like, how their, like, turning radius and stuff works. They can just be biting behind a wyvern. And this is how wyverns have to turn. They do, like, a big U-turn. The Desmoses can just keep latching onto them and just feasting and whatnot. And it's also getting blood packs, which then heals it. And also it's a really good spoiled meat collector, which I don't think we really have that many spoiled meat collectors in Ark. I think I know there's one creature that will later on that does something with spoiled meat, but you know, just overall a really cool creature, very good to use, and I would definitely recommend it if you're gonna be playing Fjordur to use this guy. Dinopithecus, or the baboon. So this was the first ever voted creature into Ark, and I would say it's a solid B tier. Very, like, solid creature, I would say. When it comes to ability-wise and stuff like that, I think that Dinopithecus is just alright. It doesn't do anything super unique, if I'll be quite honest. I mean, it has a whole, like, infested grenades and stuff, which I think it's cool. I kind of wish, though, like, for it, that when you throw a grenade, and as soon as it comes to contact with something, immediately blows up instead of has to wait a little time for it to blow up. I would prefer if it's like an instant throw explosion for me personally. It also has that like little like attack thing or whatever. If you're riding on one, you have other Dinopithecus, they'll just like charge in if you do like a commanding battle roar or something like that. I think there's stuff to really like about the creature, but it's also not super fun to use. I mean, but the main thing I would say really do like about it is that it's probably the most appropriate looking creature I could think of when it comes to Lost Island. Because when I think of like stuff with temples or like a forest or whatever, I do think of the Dinopithecus because I feel like it does make sense for a creature like that to exist in that environment. Even though that's a creature you can only find in the redwoods, which I can understand, but I feel like it makes a little bit more sense if it's also in the jungle. I don't know, with whole temples and stuff like that. It feels like it'll make more sense being in there. Enforcer, we'll do a solid A tier. Good. It's just a good creature just for the extinction map in general, with it being able to deal really good against the corrupted dinos. And it also has a pretty good travel mount or whatever with his little warp ability and stuff like that. Really good, solid creature, definitely should have. And since you can get blueprints, you can get better versions of it. So hey, nothing to really complain about it right there. The Exomech, I was really debating of even adding this thing since I think it's a craftable, which I guess in general there's quite a few of the mechanical craftable creatures that maybe I shouldn't have included on here, but I include them anyways. I'll just put them in a solid B. I haven't really used these things that often, or it's been a really long time since I used any of them, so I mean, they're just, big mechs. Can't really say too much about, and this kind of like a weaker mech, I would say, in the mechs in extinction, but transportation mech and whatnot. Alright, the Featherlight, I think I'll put this in A tier. I mean, it's just like the Bulb Dog, where it's a glow pet, so definitely gonna need an aberration. I think design wise is probably my second favorite, I would say, when it comes to the glow pets. When it comes to design wise, really like it. It's a very unique looking bird kind of creature. Really do like it. Fenrir, I'm gonna put Fenrir in B tier. I think that's a good place to put it. I have a couple of issues when it comes to Fenrir in general. One being that it's one of the creatures, I think the only creature you can really only get, at least for what I can think of at the moment, through fighting the alpha boss fight on Fjordur, which I'm not against the idea of that. The only problem is, it's just Fenrir doesn't feel like it's a creature that's also kind of worth it, I would say. I mean, there's quite a few stuff that Fenrir has that makes it a pretty decent creature, with it having the slow bite or the icy armor, being able to reduce spoil times and whatnot in its inventory, and also gives the nearby direwolves a little buff. All that's fun and dandy, but I don't know if I would say it's really worth fighting the alpha boss fight for it, Mainly because the Fenrir's stats and stuff are predetermined, which are not predetermined, are just, as random as any other wild creature you can come across, which isn't bad. The only problem is that I feel like for a trophy tame, it should also be breedable, since, I would say for the most part, you're probably not going to be using Fenrir against the alpha boss fight on Fjordur, really, because direwolves or glass cannon, sure, they be tanky, but at the same time, they're also pretty weak, so I wouldn't say you're gonna be using them a lot on Fjordur, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe some people already have, and I'm probably wrong about that then. But I feel like it just should be also a breedable creature, just because, originally Fenrir was a breedable creature on Fjordur, but they removed that. So hopefully they allow that. I kind of am annoyed that some of the fantasy creatures that Ark has introduced, they aren't breedable. There's one creature we're gonna come to here in a bit that should be breedable, but isn't. So I would like if Fenrir's breedables, just to have the stronger stats and stuff of it, because it would just make cool Fenrirs, There's a lot of colored stuff I would like to see, but I can't get those colors unless there's an event happening, or I enable a mod or whatever for that event. It's what the heck, Ferox, I'm gonna put this in a solid A tier. Very, very cute shoulder pad, really do like it. And I do like its gimmick and whatnot, with Element becoming a super hulking kind of beast. The only issue about the Ferox I really do have is because Genesis, for some reason, part 1 particularly, was oh, we should introduce unique requirements for breeding. That's dumb. And the Ferox can only breed if it's under a certain addiction level. So in order to breed, or even massively breed these guys, you're going to need a crap ton of elements. So be sure, if you're going to be breeding these guys, you do quite a few boss runs, especially if you're like me, who like to get some pretty strong creatures through breeding. You're going to go through a lot of element, and with element being probably the most needed or useful resource, especially using like stuff like PvP, you're not gonna be wasting it on like a little shoulder pet. And I wouldn't really say that with all that element you gone into for breeding to get a good creature, it's not really worth it, if I'll be honest. It's not really worth it at all. Still like the Ferox, still like the addiction stuff, but as a person who likes to breed to make stronger creatures or cool looking creatures, it's not worth it. Alright, the Fjordhawk, I think I'm gonna put this also on S tier. I'm pretty sure, wow, almost all the Fjorder creatures I'm realizing are S tier. Kind of shows you how much I really like that map. Fjordhawk is pretty simple, but in a really, really good way. It's also really strong with its ability that pretty much gives you /cheap inventory true in Ark, where if you die and you have Fjordhawk on you, it'll just bring your stuff with you, which surprisingly just really helps a lot when it comes to transportation, because you're like, man, I'm gonna do all this do a little cave run and whatnot. Then all you gotta do is cryopod your creature or use whatever mod you're using to storage your creature, put them away, eat some organic polymer, and make sure you have your Fjordhawk on you, and then you're all the way back to your base. And I would say that's probably the main highlight usefulness of the Fjordhawk. I mean, it does also have where you can tell nearby like creatures I think are dying, or like where your stuff is at with your death point, which is all fine and dandy, but at the same time, it's like, okay, the main thing that makes it strong is with its taking your stuff back to where your spawn point is at. That is really strong. So definitely S tier, a really good shoulder pet to have. Probably arguably the best shoulder pet, but there's a shoulder pet that's upcoming here that I would say is stronger. The Forest Titan. Probably my favorite Titan design for me personally. I think I can understand why a lot of people like the Ice Titan. I like plant monsters and stuff like that. I think making a plant monster concept is really cool and all. And I really like the Forest Titan. But I'm going to put this in A tier. While I do like its design, it's also just, you know, a big giant creature that just, you know, is strong, I guess to say it the least. And that's just, you know, it has some unique stuff with it, but it's also not super, super crazy with ability-wise, or at least how unique it is. But I still really, really like the design and just the aspect of the Forest Titan. Gacha, probably I would say the most unique creature that's ever existed in Ark. There's nothing I can think of that is similar at all to the Gacha, other than it being like a giant sloth-like creature like the Mega Ethereum. But like when it comes to how it works with its like items and crystals and stuff, it's very, very unique. And I would honestly put it in S tier because of that, because it's, while Ark has like some creatures that has some similarities to each other, whether that be design or it's just a ability that's a little bit like overtuned and whatnot, I can't think of any other creature that's similar to the Gacha at all. I don't think Ark will ever create something similar to the Gacha, because the Gacha is just also unique how also it, I think, interacts with other gachas, and if it's like happiness isn't up, you don't get good stuff, or if it, like, there's a lot to go with this creature, and it's also a easy to get you a lot of infinite resources also kind of creature. And you also have that, like, I think 1% chance or something like that of getting the element dust gacha, so I have the element farm, so that's also really good. Just really, really cool creature. I really do like the gacha. Gas bags, we're gonna put this in a solid B tier. Nothing to really say crazy. They're kind of interesting if you think about it, because we don't really have like a caterpillar-like creature in Ark, and these guys are just kind of big looking caterpillars, but also not. I don't know. I think it's really goofy of how they work with sucking in air, and they're kind of like floating and whatnot and stuff like that. So very interesting creature to say regardless. I wouldn't say it's like a creature I would personally seek out and tame and just be like using it all the time. I think there are like way better other creatures than it, but it's also not a bad tame to have at all, because I'm pretty sure it has a reduction weight. I don't know if it's to all items or specific ones, but I'm gonna maybe just say all items because it kind of would make sense. So it's definitely not bad, as well as a travel mount, and to also throw some resources in there if you don't have any dinosaurs with you to have any weight reduction with it, so that's not bad at all. So very overall not a bad creature. The Glowtail, probably my favorite glow pet when it comes to design wise. It's simple, it's just a cute little gecko guy. I think I'll just put it in A tier because it's just, I just really like it for its cuteness. I mean, it's also a glow pet, so it's just only good to do for Aberration and countering Reaper, so nothing super duper crazy, but I still really like the cute guy. Now, remember earlier I was talking about breedable fantasy creatures? We have the Griffin. I really like the Griffin. I think I'll throw this guy in S tier. I really do like the Griffin a lot. Can't wait to use it once Ragnarok comes out. Very excited for that. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to really say about the Griffin that isn't like just gonna be me talking about it for a little while. It's just very fun fast travel mount. I like the little slam that it has with going on whenever you dive down. I mean, other creatures have adopted that kind of ability, but the Griffin's like the OG of that. And I really do like it with it and how it's like go down and up, how with gliding and stuff to like traverse faster. Really do like that as well. And I'm just saying right now, please make this thing breedable in ASA. I don't understand why Griffins aren't breedable. They just should. So, really hope so. They become breedable. The Ice Titan, I would put this also in A tier. A really good, solid Titan design. It was also the first Titan we saw in Extinction whenever they did the trailer one on. Very crazy looking creature. Very, like, big and cool looking. I do like it. I do like its ice theming. Like I said, prefer the Forest Titan, but it's only by slightly, because the Ice Titan is also a really good designed creature, and I can't wait to see how it looks like in ASA once that's out, so... Yeah, good, cool-looking creature, and it's, you know, a big Titan, so it just destroys everything. Alright, Jerboa. I'm gonna put this in an A tier as well. Cute little shoulder pet to have. Is also very useful when it comes to the weather conditions. Now, for the most part, I would say it's mostly good on Scorched Earth for stuff like that. But I believe, like, Ragnarok also has some weather conditions. I think he'll probably also do something to let you know, like, hey, something's about to happen. So, it's good with that, but other than that, it's not a recommended tame outside of those maps, I would personally say. But hey, if you just want a cute little guy pet, little friend, you know, it's a good pet also to have. And you know, it's one of also the few shoulder pets, or I don't know if I say few. I think quite a few shoulder pets can actually have helmets on. You can, you know, have a little hat. You know, can't go wrong with that. Karkanos, really love the Karkanos. Putting this guy in S tier. I mean, very not only unique looking crab or crustacean, I suppose, creature, very useful too. It's surprisingly more like mobile than like anyone who does a first glance at this creature will be like, oh wow, this guy will be good at like just as a fighter or whatever. But it's a switch army knife, I would say, when it comes to Ark. Very useful because it can also, you know, like I said, with its mobility, leap further than you would originally expect. I mean, the only downside is that since it's a crustacean or crab creature, it kind of just sinks when it goes to water, so any like deep oceans, I wouldn't recommend it. But still not a bad creature with that. But also with its claws and whatnot. Very unique with one, it can also like attack one claw or the other depending on what button you press. But you can also like you do a big slam with both claws. But its most signature ability is its grab, where you can just grab like think creatures as big as like a stego with your claw and just hold them in place. Very useful also for like multiple reasons. One, if you're trying to tame like a small, weaker creature, you can just have someone pick it up with a claw, other person shoot it to knock it out, and then, you know, just pretty much tame it with that. But it's also good with resource farming, because some people also, you know, have it with the Ankylosaurs and whatnot. But it's also a good soaker with it, because you can have multiple like stegos in your like hands and whatnot and be like a big shield. But even the Karkanos itself is also decently tanky. Not super tanky, but you know, it could definitely take a couple of bullets, I would definitely say. So a really good creature. The little moth, I forget your name. I'm just throwing in C tier. I mean, it's like unique because we really don't have like any really like butterflies or moths in Ark besides it. So I definitely give it points for that. The only thing is just, I don't know, it just also feels kind of anti-use. I mean, you could definitely have it, it's like the Pteranodon of, you know, Scorched Earth, since you really can't get Pteranodons on that map. But like, outside of it being an early game like flyer, it's just okay, you know. You're definitely gonna get like some better flyers and stuff later on, or definitely later on, especially in Scorched Earth. Once you steal a wyvern egg, that creature just becomes kind of useless. And it's also not super duper fast, I would say, compared to a pteranodon. I mean, it does have that useful like slow thing with its like little dust or whatever, which is all good and all, but I wouldn't say it's like something that'd be like, oh yeah, you gotta tame this creature because of that. Alright, next we have is the Maywane. I'm going to put this in another S tier. I really like the Maywane. There's a lot of usefulness of it. Probably I would definitely say it's like just the best travel mount. It's a really good glider that just really gets you places and whatnot very, very fast. And also is not a bad swimmer at all. Because it's, you know, like a platypus, a little bit of a creature, so very useful with that. And, you know, it can also nurse babies and stuff nearby, which is very useful as a person that does a lot of breeding. Having a baby nearby and whatnot and have something to take care of it, very useful indeed. And they're also kind of cute. Really like them. Really like them. Magmasaur. Ooh. I think I'll throw Magmasaur a solid A tier. Really do like the Magmasaur a lot. I really, really do. The only thing is, that's the issue, is the same thing I have with the Ferox. I don't like the fact that in order for it to breed, it has to be in lava. Do you know how annoying it is to try to pick up an egg when it's in around lava? I mean, with like Oviraptors now having an ASA, being able to collect, you know, eggs nearby, that's pretty handy. But like in ASC, oh god, I had to make sure they're all in a certain angle and whatnot if I was breeding for mutations, just so I was able to pick up the egg and not get hurt by the lava. But then once I got a mutation, I had to take them out, reposition. It was just not fun breeding these guys. But also, they're just really cool. I like the Magmasaurs a lot. Like a big fiery, like kind of drake kind of creature. Really cool. I like its whole like spit mechanic with this like magma ball, or like it shoots fires and stuff around it. That's also really cool. And you know, with it you can go in lava, which is also really nice. So yeah, pretty good creature. Managarmr. Ooh, I think I'll put the Managarmr in A. Very, very good creature, I would definitely say. With its ice breath and whatnot, being able, or I guess ice beam, not really breath, being able to like freeze creatures and stuff in place. That's pretty cool. It's also like glide, I'm not sure how you would say it. It's also very unique of what being able to, if you can leap up, dash forward, leap up, dash forward, stuff like that. That's pretty unique. I kind of like the movement of it. Just overall, pretty cool looking creature. Not my favorite from the from the extinction map, but still a solid creature regardless. The Mantis, ooh, I really like the Mantis. I'm putting this in A tier as well. We're gonna have quite a few more A and S tiers in this video compared to the creatures on the island. I can definitely tell you that. Really cool looking creature. I mean, I like praying mantises in general, so there's probably maybe just a little bit of brownie points for it. But it's also a weird, also switch army knife kind of creature as well when it comes to resource gathering and combat. Because since it's a creature that also can be bred to get the melee stat higher, because they did that little like bug TLC a little while ago. I'm not sure how long it's been. Definitely a couple years, I could say that for sure. But anyways, being able to level up its melee and it's just either with the melee damage you're dealing with a good blueprint sword or a good blueprinted like pickaxe or axe. You can either be OHKOing any creature that's in your way, or you're going to just give a lot more resources than your regular resource gatherers. You can definitely, I would say, depending on your like melee stat or whatnot, like get more resources than a Kylosaur with metal, which while you're not going to be having the weight reduction stuff as in Kylosaur, you can definitely farm a lot more metal with it. Honestly, I do not remember this guy's name. I know it's like a big turtle or whatnot, but we're gonna throw this guy in C tier. This is like a weird creature that like, I kind of like the idea of it or the concept, but also I just didn't like it. It's not a very appealing looking creature, but it's also not a fun creature to tame as well. I know, I'm just very iffy with. I'm gonna just call it a turtle. You know, it's like not 100% turtle. That's like the only thing it resembles. I don't remember its name at all. I think it's like probably the most forgettable out of the Genesis Part 1 creatures. I mean, I can't even remember its name, so that's definitely how forgettable it is for me. So, I don't know, not really the biggest fan of that guy, so I think I combine these two guys together instead of one. So I believe this right here is the mech, but we're also gonna throw the mega mech wherever. Solid B. I think we're gonna throw both these in B. The mega mech is just what you really use to fight the Alpha Titan, pretty much. That's just what it's made for. The mechs in general aren't bad at all, I would say, to use. I mean, they're very, very strong, and also if you do quite a bit of orbital supply drops, you can also get a lot of, like, good mechs with blueprints and stuff like that. So, you can definitely get a strong mech over time. But I wouldn't say I would replace it over certain creatures for it. I mean, I would definitely say if you got a max level Rex and you're using, like, the default, like, mech blueprint, that Rex is gonna most likely take out that mech. Unless it's, like, very further away and that mech is just shooting at it, then, well, the Rex is probably not gonna win. But anyways, overall, I think they're cool. I do like the whole, like, attachment stuff of them. I think that does give them a lot of unique purpose. But not the biggest fan of them. Morellatops, we're gonna throw this also in B tier, I would say. Not a bad creature at all. It's definitely one of the starter kind of creatures in Scorched Earth that you could have. Not too bad to knock out and tame. Definitely very useful. I would say probably early to somewhat mid game, I would personally say, or just in general, because they carry the most needed resource for those maps. That being water. And they did also get the little TLC that they can water plants and stuff nearby, so that's not bad at all. Just a little annoying though, since depending where you're at, you still got to make the travel distance and whatnot to get the water. But not bad of a creature, and also a decent travel mount. The Noglin. Ooh, I think I know what I'm gonna do, and it's gonna make not a lot of people happy. Boom. I just don't see the appeal to the Noglin at all. I know, like, Ark has made, like, the meme, the Poglin and whatnot, and I think there's also, like, a statue in, like, I think Fjordur or Lost Island, one of the two maps of the Poglin. I think it's just an ugly-looking creature, stupid taming method, and it's just also just stupid, because it's just not fun to either have in a PvE or PvP situation. PvP will be annoying because it has taken over potentially one of your own tames and turned it against you. In PvE, it's not fun when you're on one of your, like, strongest creatures and just this little guy just hops on it and kills you because you were just so happened to be in the same area. It's just not a fun, well-designed creature in my opinion. It's stupid. I don't like it at all. It's dumb. Alright, the Phoenix. I'll put the Phoenix in C tier. For how rare this creature is, and the stuff you use to tame it, aka you just gotta pretty much burn it, doesn't seem to be really worth it at all, if I'll be perfectly honest. It's just, I don't know, it's just not a creature I really go out and tame. I was personally thinking in my Scorched Earth series I did at ASA to try to tame a Phoenix, because I really haven't at all, if I'll be perfectly honest. But there's also good reasons, because there's not a huge reason to tame the Phoenix. I feel like if I'm going to be spending all the time just to wait for a weather condition to start, and two, being able to find the thing, it should be a creature worth my while. And the Phoenix really is not at all. I mean, you could just have a Fire Wyvern, and that's just, if you want like a fiery flyer, that's a better tame than the Phoenix for me personally. I don't really see the need of going out and get a Phoenix. I mean, it's cool, don't get me wrong, but it's not like a tame I really go out and get. It's just kind of Ravengers. This is a solid B. It's kind of like somewhat the Raptors of Aberration, I would say. Even though there are Raptors in Aberration, but, just a Definitely annoying creature to go up against early on in Aberration, because there's nothing you can really do once these guys start charging at you. You're just kind of dead pretty much. So that's annoying. But having these guys on your side, they're not bad at all. Pretty good, decent travel mount. Definitely not good to go in the deeper parts of Aberration. But still overall not a bad creature to take along with you to travel around more of the, not the surface, but, you know, the non-radioactive parts of Aberration. So, not a bad creature. The Reaper, I don't think there's any, like, debate. This thing's a good, solid S tier. Very cool creature. Very well designed. And, I mean, also it's like little like name if you want to spawn one is Xenomorph. I mean, it's a big Xenomorph T-Rex like creature. It's really cool looking. Well designed, very fun. Well, I don't know if I would say very fun, but like very unique taming method of like it legit bursting out of your chest. So very cool creature. Really do like it. It's like a very mobile tanky Rex with it. I do like that aspect of it. Just love the Reaper. Can't go wrong with it. And its other friend, the Rock Drake, is also going to be joining S tier. The best mount to really have in Aberration, if I'll be honest. Good at just gliding around, and since there really aren't any flyers in Aberration, a glider really gets you places a lot. I mean, I believe we have the Desmosins and ASC in Aberration, but the Rock Drake, I would say, is like the best creature you could just use overall. Just good gliding creature. It can climb on walls. It can like dive straight into walls at fast speed. It's just a cool creature. It also has a tech saddle, so can't go wrong with that. The Roll Rat. Say probably a solid B. Not a bad creature at all. I think it's just kind of okay. I mean, its same method's not fun because you have to get the annoying resource that is being honey. I mean, you can have a direberry and break the beehive to get it, so that's not bad. But they're also just really ugly, but I mean that's because they're naked mole rats, so I can understand that aspect of it. But I don't know, it's not a creature I also will go out and personally tame, since the whole taming method and stuff, it's a little annoying. I mean, sure, you can get gems and stuff from them with ease, but it's also scary. But I don't know, just an okay creature. Alright, the Scout, we're gonna throw this in C tier. I mean, it's just a little scouting, craftable tame, so you just fly around, just scan, and then, yeah, kind of about it. Nothing very crazy about that guy. The Shadow Man. Ooh, I'm throwing this in A tier. The Shadow Man is really, really good, I would definitely say. I really do like a lot of aspects of this creature. Also, it's a very cool looking creature. I mean, it takes like the lion aspect of it and turns it up a notch with its like fishnet or whatnot. It's like like a lionfish or something with its mane. Really cool with that. I really like it a lot. It also has a unique gender different stuff with its like roar or whatnot, or what it can do. So that's very cool and whatnot. Just a very annoying tame though. That's the only thing. It's just annoying tame, and that's what I kind of don't like about it. But overall, really good, solid creature. Shinehorn, I mean, I'm gonna throw this in B. It's just really cute. I mean, it's another shoulder pet, and it's the only goat that we have in Ark, so that's also something about it. Very cute little creature and whatnot. Nothing else to really say too much about it. Just cute little goat that's useful with the light. The Sinnoh Macrops. Throwing this buddy in S for Sinnoh Macrops, because to me this is the best shoulder pad you can have. Has a lot of usages with it being able to make you legit just fly up in the sky, be able to do parachute you, being able to make you glide and whatnot. But most importantly, it's a counter to Microraptors, and those things suck. But also, they are not too bad to run against a broodmother. It's really surprising. Just have a good helmet, put a couple of stats and whatnot with its health and melee with breeding. You got yourself a pretty good solid creature to go up against the broodmother. So yeah. They do like the guy. The Snow Owl. I think this is also going to be an S tier. S for Snow Owl. I mean, you can't go wrong with the Snow Owl. I would say when it comes to healers, this is the best healer in Ark in general. It doesn't require... I mean, I guess in a way it does require food, since you're costing stamina and your creature's going to need to eat after it uses all its stamina for healing. So I would say it's the better Daedon in my opinion. Well, the Daedon may be way more useful for more like combat healing or like in raids and stuff. Or not raids, like boss runs or whatnot. The Snow Owl is just a good healer in general. I would personally always recommend if you just need to heal up your dinos, don't use the Daedon. Just don't use the Daedon. Use a Snow Owl because not only you're healing them, but you're also giving them like damage resistance. Sure, you're freezing them in place, but like with like I think like 80 something resistance, they're not gonna be taking that much damage at all, really. So, very very good creature, good healer. I mean, it has this other aspects of it, but the healing is what I really like about the Snow Owl. And it's also a really cool looking creature overall too. So, can't go wrong with it. The Text Rider, I think I'm gonna put this in. I think I'll put this in B tier. This is another one of the Genesis Part 2 creatures I barely have interacted with. And I mean, I know it's like good with like really good with resource gathering. And there's like different like stuff with modules and stuff like that. I just think it's okay. I don't know. I mean, it's just a OP gathering creature, at least from my understanding. This is probably the most blanked I'm at with any creatures on this list so far. Maybe besides the Exomech, but I know what the Exomech kind of does. Text Rider, I'm a little like, I may be making stuff as I go on because I don't fully really know, if I'll be quite honest. But I mean, it's also like a kind of a cool like giant walking tech creature. Kind of like reminds me of something like of like Horizon Zero or something like that. So cool stuff, I guess, but not my personal favorite. All right, the Thorny Dragon. We don't even need to discuss the Thorny Dragon. That's the S tier. Nah, he's got a. Even though none of these are like any order, which I think are better, the Thorny Dragon is the S tier. You may wonder why, Robbie. Why is the Thorny Dragon S tier? It's not bad, but I wouldn't say it's S tier worthy. It's because I just really like the Thorny Dragon. When it comes to just creatures overall, I think it's just my favorite creature in Ark in general. They're also probably the reason that got me into. They're also the reason why I got into Bearded Dragons, because while they wouldn't like 100% say look exactly like Bearded Dragons, they're very similar to each other, I would say, with their design. And I really like them, and perhaps it's like maybe a personal connection with me and Bearded Dragons, but I really like them because of that. Now, gameplay-wise, they're not bad. They're not bad at all. I would say gameplay-wise, they are probably a solid B tier, but I have just too much personal attachment to this creature in general. Because if there's any map with a Thorny Dragon, I would always go out and tame one because I love these guys. I love them a lot. So that's why they're an S tier for me. The Tropius. I'm going to put this in a solid A tier. I really do like the Trope. Probably one of my favorite, at least when it comes to design-wise, of the prehistoric flyers that we have in Ark. Really do like its like little like jet engine kind of like saddle it has. That's kind of really cool, and it can like fire grenades and stuff. That's also really cool. And just like the Andrewsarchus, I don't think I mentioned earlier, its saddle when you get a blueprint also increases the damage that you're gonna be dealing. So that's also really cool. Really do like the Tropius, and also it has like its own like kind of like it's like a living industrial grinder and whatnot. So that's also pretty cool. The Velonosaur, probably, I will say, my favorite out of the extinction creatures. And so we're throwing this guy in a solid S tier. Really do like the Velonosaur. I think just like the turret aspect of it. And they're just fun to use. Just activate turret mode, go pew 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 pew. It's really fun to use. Especially just to see like something like a rock elemental just get shut down or just perish in an instant. Really fun guys to use. I really do like these guys. Vulture, I'll throw this in like a B tier, honestly. Not a bad creature at all. I mean, it's like one of the, I would say, more aggressive shoulder pets you can encounter. Because most shoulder pets will just, if you like hit them or whatever, they'll be like, oh my god, what are you doing? Let me run away. No, this guy will try to eat, yeah. He will try to eat, yeah. I mean, nothing to really say too much about the Vulture. It's not bad at all. It does help with the spoiled meat. I believe it can, like, make spoiled meat happen quicker, so that's pretty handy, but nothing I will personally go out and seek to tame. And finally, we have the Wyverns. And just like I said earlier, I put all the Wyverns together because it just, I don't know, it just didn't make sense for me to do, like, one Fire Wyvern, Fire wyvern this, lightning wyvern that, poison wyvern this, crystal isle wyvern that. Like, I don't know, it just didn't make sense for me to do that. But I'm gonna put all the wyverns all together, because for me, they all play the same. It's just the elemental breath deck's different. It's a solid S tier. I think all wyverns are very viable for what they can do. They're just, I would say, a good flying travel mount to have, very strong with their breath attacks, and ever since they're breedable, it's also fun to make your own wyvern, like colors and whatnot, and just make them stronger in general. So really do like that. But here are all my rankings for all of the DLC creatures on Ark Survival Evolve. I think I might, at the end of this year, maybe do a small little ranking of all the creatures that have been released on ASA, instead of just doing like wait for like probably to like 2027, if we're gonna be honest here, for ASA to release all the maps and stuff. You know, it just makes sense to do that. And yeah, but I think that's wrap today's video, and I really hope you enjoyed. And what did you think about my rankings? Do you agree or disagree? I'm pretty sure I agree with a lot, or I think, you know. But that's been my rankings for all the DLC creatures slash custom Ark creatures. And what did you think? You agree? You disagree? Let me know your opinions. What creature you would have personally put in maybe S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, D tier, F tier. I'd like to hear it. So yeah, make sure to leave that down below. And that's for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. If so, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, hitting that subscribe button definitely be appreciated. And I'll see you next one. Peace out and have a good one.